Welcome to Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and we are airing from our studios in Boston, Massachusetts. A little cold today here in Boston, and we have a reporter on staff, David Reske, from our digital marketing reporter from NowSpeed. Welcome back, David.
Thanks, Jeffrey. It's great to be here.
Good. What's the important topic we need to be thinking about?
Well, I find a lot of entrepreneurs are really confused about social media marketing. They want to get involved in it. They're excited about Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, and they're trying to figure out, their kids are using it, they've tried it, but they're having a real tough time figuring out how to make it work for the business, to have a real impact on the business. So that's what I want to talk about today.
Right.
How to make it effective,
Okay.
not just an activity.
This shouldn't be hard for you. Treat me stupid and teach me.
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on in social media. Of course, we're all using Facebook. There's about 1.3 billion users today on Facebook. There's 1 billion users.
I'm on Facebook.
Yeah.
My kids aren't.
You're kidding. Yeah, they're on the new ones, right?
No, my kids actually closed down their Facebook pages.
Yeah, it becomes too overwhelming for some people. But
Yeah,
still, 1.3 billion can't be wrong. So 1 billion users.
I like it, actually. I like it that I can post pictures.
Yeah, it's fun to see what your friends are doing.
Right.
So we've got LinkedIn. LinkedIn's got a few 100 million users. Google Plus has a few 100 million users. So a lot of people are on these channels, and it's just become a major growth area.
It is probably the major source for radio entrepreneurs' connection to entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. So people are really confused about how to kind of take this personal interaction. We're using it for we're using LinkedIn, we're using Facebook, and confused about how to take that and make it really work for the business. So the first step to kind of get there is to really look at the properties themselves. So you got to think about as a business, well, where do you want to be found? And some people just think about, well, yeah, put up a Facebook, do something on LinkedIn. We got to treat each one of these properties as almost like a little website. You got to think about it with enough planning and forethought as you do with your own website. Put together a good LinkedIn presence, good Facebook page, do something on Twitter, put together a nice Twitter presence, Pinterest, SlideShare, Google+, put together the right platforms that are most appropriate for your business. If you're in B2B, you're going to put more emphasis on LinkedIn. If you're in a B2C firm, you're going to put a lot more emphasis on Facebook because that's where the traffic is.
Right. Interesting.
So that's really the first step. And then the second step is you got to start putting out content.
Right.
Because without content, it doesn't really work. And some people think that all the content has to be about them. It all has to be kind of one-way flow of content. But the really good companies think about posting industry content to make yourself look like the curator of all that's good and right and true in your industry, the source of good content. Just like Radio Entrepreneurs puts out really good content. Each business should think about, each entrepreneur should think about the content that they want to put out that's about their industry. And then there's content about them, and then the big piece that people miss is they should put out content that's content about offers or call to action to drive them back to the website so they can create a lead or a sale.
Right.
And that's a really key piece of it. The way to make Twitter work for business is to have fans and followers. So a lot of people go on Twitter and it's like drinking from a fire hose, but the way to make it work for your business is to reach out to people who are influencers in your industry and get them to follow you back. And then find other people who are talking about your topics and get them to follow you back.
My industry or my target?
Either one.
I don't really care about people in my industry following me.
Unless they're influencers. So they might be
Oh, we're all influencers. That's true.
Right. They might be media. They might be analysts. They might be.
Right.
They might have big followers. They might have a blog. They might be on the radio.
Right.
So these influencers, you got to find people in your industry, find your customers, find people who are talking about your topics. You follow them. They follow you back. And
Right.
you build lists of these people, and you start to reach out to them and get them to comment on your content so that they share your content. And that way you build up your follower and fan base. So you go from 1,000 or maybe 100 followers to 1,000 to 10,000. And suddenly when you do a post, things happen. You get traffic, you get sales, you get leads. Otherwise, if you don't have any fans and followers, you post, nothing happens. It's like having an email campaign without an email list. You've got to build up that fan and follower base. And that takes a long time. It takes a lot of working that channel. But unless you do that, it's not going to make any business impact.